She has been inside the bank vault for 6 days. The air smells like sweat and old carpet and something metallic she stopped noticing on day 3. The man with the rifle has let her use the bathroom twice today. Yesterday it was once. She is grateful. She catches herself feeling grateful and does not find that strange. The police are outside, hundreds of them, negotiators on bullhorns, sharpshooters on the rooftops across Norrmalmstorg Square. The entire city of Stockholm knows her name. On the 6th day, the vault door opens. Officers rush in. She can see daylight through the lobby windows for the first time in nearly a week. She has a clear path to the door. She does not take it. She steps in front of the gunman, not behind the officers, in front of him. She shields the man who held a weapon to her head for 6 days and screams at the police to leave him alone. She means it, every word. Later, she will visit him in prison. She will help pay for his lawyer. She will tell reporters, on camera, that she felt more afraid of the police than of the man with the gun. That was August 1973. Kreditbanken Bank, Stockholm, Sweden. A man named Jan-Erik Olsson walked into the bank with a submachine gun, took 4 employees hostage and held them in an 11 by 47-foot vault for 131 hours. When it was over, not one of the hostages would testify against their captors. One of them, Kristin Enmark, became engaged to one of the captor's associates. The police could not understand it. The public could not understand it. A psychiatrist named Nils Bejerot was brought in to explain the behavior. He needed a name for something that did not have one yet. He called it Stockholm Syndrome. The pattern underneath it is not complicated. A person who is trapped, who depends entirely on someone else for food, for safety, for whether the next 5 minutes will be calm or terrifying, begins to attach to that person. Not because of love. Because of survival math. The brain calculates that the person who controls whether you eat, whether you sleep, whether today is a good day or a catastrophe, is the most important person in your world. Not because they are good, because they are close. And closeness, to a brain under threat, outranks everything. The FBI studied hostage cases through the late 1970s and found attachment to captors in nearly 3 out of 4 cases. Frank Ochberg, a psychiatrist consulting with the FBI, formalized the criteria in 1978. He identified 4 conditions. The person must perceive a genuine threat to their survival. The person must perceive small kindnesses from the one threatening them. The person must be isolated from any perspective other than the captors. And the person must believe escape is not possible. 4 conditions. When all 4 are present, the attachment is almost automatic. It does not matter how intelligent the person is. It does not matter how strong. The pattern does not care about personality. It cares about architecture. Build the room with those 4 walls, and the brain does the rest on its own. Those 4 conditions do not require a bank vault. They do not require a gun. They do not require a hostage negotiator, or a SWAT team, or international news coverage. They require a threat, a small kindness, isolation from outside voices, and no visible exit. 4 ingredients. And those 4 ingredients show up in apartments. They show up in corner offices. They show up in childhood bedrooms where the door was never locked, because the lock was never on the door. We know someone in a relationship like this. Most of us have watched it from the outside and not understood it. She has not seen her closest friends in months. Not because anyone told her she could not, because every time she makes plans, something shifts. A mood, a fight over nothing that lasts long enough to cancel dinner. A quiet comment about how her friends do not really understand her the way he does. Her world shrinks, slowly, over months. He becomes the only person in it. And then he does something kind. He brings her coffee the way she likes it. He says something warm on a Tuesday afternoon. That warmth, inside a world that has contracted to the size of one person, feels enormous. It feels like proof. It is not proof that he loves her. It is proof that he is the only source of warmth left. But from inside that shrunken world, those 2 things feel like the same thing. The 4 walls do not care what the room is called, whether it is a marriage, a job, or a family dinner table. We know someone with a boss like this too. The one who controls whether a project lives or dies, whether a name appears on the presentation or gets quietly removed from the final slide. Some days the boss is warm, generous, mentions someone in a meeting. Those days feel like sunlight after a week of rain. Some days the boss is cold, dismissive. People learn to check the temperature of the room before they check their email. They learn which voice means safe and which voice means disappear. When the warm days come, the relief hits so hard it disguises itself as gratitude. They tell people they have a great boss. Demanding, sure, but great. High standards. They are lucky. They describe the 4 conditions and call them a career. Threat, small kindness, isolation from outside perspective. They stopped telling their friends the real stories about work months ago because people kept saying things they did not want to hear. No visible exit. There is a mortgage. There is a quieter version still. The child who gets the least attention works the hardest to earn it. The parent who gives the least warmth receives the fiercest defense. Ask that child at 35 about their upbringing. They will say it was fine. They will mean it. They will describe effort as closeness. They will describe earning love as receiving it. They will not see the gap between those two things, because when you grow up inside the 4 conditions, you do not experience them as conditions. You experience them as the shape of love. That is just what love feels like. The water you swim in is the water you think all water feels like. That last part is worth sitting with for a second. None of these people use the word trapped. That word does not appear anywhere in their vocabulary. They say committed. They say loyal. They say I know them better than anyone else does. You only see one side. They say it is not that bad. You are making it sound worse than it is. They say I stay because I choose to, and they believe every word. That is not a lie. That is the syndrome working exactly as designed. The brain does not experience the attachment as something done to it. It experiences it as something it chose. The lock is not on the door. The lock is in the way the door looks from where you are standing. From inside, it does not look like a door at all. It looks like a wall. We can read every article ever published about Stockholm Syndrome. We can explain the 4 conditions at a dinner party. We can watch the documentaries about Kristin Enmark and feel the strange weight of what happened in that vault, and wonder how anyone could feel loyalty to someone who pointed a gun at them. We can know the name. We can draw the diagram. We can spot it in a friend's relationship, in a co-worker's loyalty to a boss who takes credit for everything, in the way a cousin still defends a parent who gave them the least. We can see it in everyone. And none of that knowledge will even flicker the next time someone who controls a small corner of our world does something kind after a long stretch of something cold, and that warmth fills the chest, and the thought arrives on its own. See, they do care. The warmth will feel real. It will feel chosen. The syndrome does not need you to forget its name. It just needs you to believe you are the exception.